calm down, folks. Just calm down. Hi, everybody, and welcome in to the Best Boys Center Ice podcast here on live on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, Best Boys Center Ice podcast. I'm Barry Besse, along with my son Carson. And today was a big day in the NHL, but it turned out to be kind of a
Dud.
day. It was the trade deadline. We were looking forward to this for ever since
This
even
is
before the
one of
Olympics.
those days on the calendar in the NHL season you mark is
When you mark this as the first day of free agency. It's a big day, but it turned out to be quite a
underwhelming.
figure. And it's like there wasn't the moves that you would think of. And I think, Carson, you just before we went on, you said it right. I think with everything with the salary cap and the long-term injured reserve list
Yeah, and
now,
the no move clauses are being handed
that
out left and right. It's impossible.
changes a lot of your thinking. A lot of players that we thought were going to be gone stayed with their teams. Jordan Binghamton was, I think, one of the guys I thought for sure was going to go somewhere. Whether he was going to Edmonton, whether he was going to another city, and then the name Sergei Bobrovsky came up kind of late in the trade week, and it was like I was thinking, well, okay, Florida is like not doing very well there. Probably won't make the playoffs, but you get a guy who backstopped you to 2 straight Stanley Cups, and after a year of kind of mediocre play, you're going to get rid of one of the best goaltenders, so he's staying where he's at. Some trades were just like it was boring. I hate to say it, but it was boring. I was sitting there all day.
There wasn't any of those fireworks where you had like last year the Brad Marchand trade, or like years past you've had some big deals at the last minute, and this one just really wasn't that exciting. I mean, as time was ticking on, you're like, okay, there's a little bit of time left. Maybe there's something that'll pop up. Nothing. Just nothing. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some, bigger names, but still, nothing like the years past. And again, that's just the way the NHL is structured now, with the LTIR loophole being gone and no move clauses are really popular, where a lot of guys just don't want to go to a lot of places. So it makes it impossible to make it work. I mean, one example of that, was the Parayko trade that was about to happen. Colton Parayko was going to be dealt from the Blues to Buffalo, and he declined it because he didn't want to go to Buffalo, and that was his contract. He had a no-move clause, which he would have had to waive, and if he chose not to waive it, then the trade couldn't go through, and he chose not to waive it. And I had seen reported that he was fine staying in the West for the most part. I think he named a couple of cities, but ended up nothing happening. I guess he's just loyal to that organization in St. Louis, but things like that are going to be very popular now, where players are getting those no move clauses where they don't have to waive it if they don't want. So these deals are getting announced and they're not even happening. So it's kind of crappy for all people involved, like the players involved in that their names are circling around in that, and then it doesn't happen. Their families, the fans of the teams that maybe are excited to get certain players that don't get them. But it's part of the game. Obviously, again, some deals happened. Notably, so Mackenzie Weegar went to Utah. That was a not a bad trade for Utah, but they gave up a lot in that deal. I mean, three second-round picks this year. Oli Mata, another just plenty of giving out there. Last minute deal, the last one I think that was made was Nazem Kadri being traded back to the Avalanche again, and even then they gave up a decent haul for that. He's a good player, but they traded a lot away. But that's a team that probably can, because they are going to be really deep and loaded for the playoffs again, and they've got Kadri back, who won with them back in 22. John Carlson traded from Washington there for 17 seasons, all 17 seasons of his career, and he's traded to the Ducks. Brutal for a guy who probably thought he was going to finish his career in Washington. And he gets traded to Anaheim to help get them into the playoffs, which, he deserves that. But for a Washington team, that's not really that far out. Bit of a surprise they did that because I was like at 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
Other than that, notable deals. I mean, Mangiapane got traded out of Edmonton. We knew that was going to happen.
yeah, we knew that. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen. That
Yeah,
was
better
inevitable.
off that they did that versus the waivers where he was on that no one claimed him.
Yeah.
That they kind of swapped out. Connor Murphy got traded to Edmonton from Chicago in a separate
Mhm.
deal. The Mangiapane thing is always kind of funny to me because he's a good player. I just find it in my head so funny, like how can some players say I can't fit in on a roster with McDavid and Draisaitl? I mean, I get it. Your playing style might not work, but like it's not like Mangiapane is like the next guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's a good player, but he's not at Leon and Connor's level. It's very interesting to me that that happened, but it just he was not a
He
fit on
wasn't.
that
I don't
roster.
think he was ready to play a role, a minor bottom six role.
Yeah, because I guess like when he was in Calgary, he was a pretty big piece of that Calgary team
Yeah.
back then, and when he went to Washington, even he was an important part of that team. But now he's on a Chicago team that is kind of somewhat searching for their identity, and he can bring some leadership
Maybe.
values into that.
Yeah, he can bring a little of that
Yeah,
veteran leadership, and I the Mangiapane thing when it happened, the free agency signing and everything. I thought, okay, great. You know what, Mangiapane's always been a thorn in the side of the Oilers, and he plays well against. He plays well, but he just could not fit in.
it was probably one of
Yeah,
those things that in his head he thought it was going to go a lot better than it did,
yeah,
and then as the games keep going, he's like, maybe
mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't, to be honest, I really didn't notice him all that much this season,
No,
but I think he gets to go in a spot where he's probably going to be a bit better for his game, where he can be more of a big guy on the right on the team, and he's got more tenure. He's played in the league for a while. You know, he gets to be a big part of it, and for a team that's kind of up and coming, trying to figure their stuff out, another trade made from them. They traded their captain to Chicago did to
yeah,
Minnesota, Nick Foligno, so he gets to play with his brother for the first
yep.
time ever. I saw the interview he had after he got traded on ESPN, the Trade Center, uh, that he has never ever played with his brother Marcus Foligno ever. Like they've never played on the same team. I guess just due to age differences and stuff, they've never played on the same team until now. So they're both a part of a Minnesota team who is ready to make probably a deep run in the playoffs with how they've been playing. Other than that, I mean, minor league deals, some small trades, nothing too magnificent that happened today. Maybe these trades that'll look better in a month or so from now, but for the most part, uh, nothing too crazy happening. So we should see an interesting finish, I think, to the last part of the season. It's very I don't want to say, as a fan, it's very disappointing. I think to see the day go like this because you always get excited, like where there's just tons of action going on, much like free agency, which is always a fun thing when you see like 40 signings in a matter of an hour, it feels like. But it just didn't happen like that this year for trade deadline. Just not much noise, not many people out there ready to go. And it seemed like, too, the buying prices were quite high and the selling prices were quite high. If you were selling guys, you were getting a
Yeah,
lot back for guys that probably shouldn't have gotten that much. Another notable name too, a captain actually that got traded, a former captain I believe, or current maybe for St. Louis. Braden Shen is in the Islanders with the Islanders now, but they gave up a haul for him. It's like that. That's the kind of thing that makes it scary for these management and ownership groups to give so much up, especially if you're a younger team. You maybe don't want to give up many assets to get a guy back that may not stay on the team for that long. So it's not really worth it for these teams that are the the lower end of the league to really do anything because it's just not worth giving up your future for a guy that is going to be there for a year or two because
I
that's mainly
agree.
what the trade deadline is rentals. For the most part, these guys are rentals where I guarantee you probably 75% or so of the players don't stay where they're at after their deals are over. They're just
Right.
more rentals to try to get these teams an extra leap into the playoffs or to win, and that's what makes it so exciting is that they can be a part of something special by just being a part of a team for a few months.
Yeah.
But if for
We'll see if
teams that are on the
Connor.
lower end of the spectrum, it's not really something that's very practical for that kind of thing.
And you look at a guy like Connor Murphy, maybe his defensive style will shore up a little bit. The defensive woes that the Oilers are
I
going
still
through.
think it's just goaltending.
Yeah,
Really, I think
it is
for
goaltending, and it's going to be goaltending until they get a solid. And I kept seeing reports, well, in the off season, they're going to really go after a top notch goaltender. Well, they should have been doing that 2, 3 years ago. No disrespect to Tristan Jarry, but he's proven to be the Tristan Jarry that you know of in watching him in Pittsburgh. Um, you know, I was disappointed because when you hear talk about Binghamton or even Bobrovsky coming to Edmonton, you get excited for a little bit, but then you sit and realize, well, Bowman will never ever pull the trigger on a great deal like that. And this was the problem and I think you mentioned it when Bowman became the general manager after Holland left and Bowman became the general manager. You said he's going to ruin this team, and
Yeah,
and
it's
and
just
he,
it's just they care. They just that's the one position on the team that they needed to have better was the goaltending, right? I mean, they've had decent goalies.
mhm,
Mike Smith for a while was pretty okay. I know Cam Talbot wasn't your favorite, but they've had these guys that are pretty okay, man.
mhm,
Jari was supposed to be their answer to their problems, but they don't prioritize the goaltending. So they trust their offense so much, which they should,
mhm,
honestly, but not that much. At the end of the day, the team that wins the cup is the team with the best goalie. And the Oilers never in a while have had the best goalie in the league. Or
that's
best goal or one
like
of like they just don't. I mean they can't make it scoring 5 or 6 a night and barely winning, because when you get into the playoffs, the scoring goes down significantly as the playoffs keep going, and you have to rely on your goaltending at that point to save you. And right now it's just like it seems like that's just not a priority for whatever reason for the
like
Oilers. Okay, like with the
there's
trade,
no doubt the Oilers can put the puck in the net. They've proven that in the last 10 or 12 games.
they're one of the best scoring
They're
teams
one
in
of
the
the best
league. It's not
scoring
even a
teams.
question.
That's not a problem. The problem is the blue line
Yeah.
in to the
Yeah.
goaltender.
Well, and
That's
they
where the
just
problem is.
And I mean, the trade that was made with Stu and Jari, you're making pretty much a lateral move.
Yeah,
Guys that, okay, Stu's got his playoff resume for sure, but these are still both guys that have had their struggles more than their success.
yeah,
And that was such a lateral trade. And the Oilers really got owned on it because they take all of that contract from
mhm,
Jari. And it's there for another couple seasons.
yeah,
And that there's no one's really going to go after that. I'm surprised, really, with all that Bowman took the whole thing,
yeah. Well, see,
because
that's something like he's
yeah, I think it's just these panic moves, because like I told, and this is exactly what I said when we talked about it, that Kyle Dubas had the wishbone, and he could have snapped it his way easily because he had total leverage in the situation, because the Penguins had so much cap space and the Oilers needed to do something, and he knew it, and he took advantage of it. And
yeah,
it's unfortunate in that aspect because I really want the Oilers to do well, but it's the same thing as it has been for the past few seasons, that the goaltending is going to be the reason that they don't do it, just because it's not elite.
yeah,
And these goalies in the past that have won the cup, Besse, Bobrovsky, okay, Bennington with the Blues, Holtby with Washington, Matt Murray for us, Aim Flower for us, Corey Crawford, Jonathan Quick, Tim Thomas, you name them, all these guys back all the way to the early 2000s are elite goaltenders, and that's why they won.
yeah.
And the Oilers just don't have that name right now. And who knows what can happen? I could be totally wrong, and they make it all the way, but that's what they're missing, is that elite
Well, you
top tier
got
goalie.
when you look at their situation right now, you get Connor Ingram, who they picked up from Utah, who played in Utah.
He's been he's been what he should be,
He's
because he
been
hadn't played in so long.
he's been the better goal. He's been the better goaltender of the three that the Oilers have had here the last a couple of months. But Jari's supposed to be your number one guy. So do you say, sorry, Connor Ingram earns the spot of number one, which I think right now he's playing better than Jari, even though he's still suspect of letting some goals in. But I don't think it gets into his head like it does with
No. And the
Jari.
problem with Jars is that I don't think any amount of negative reinforcement really works for him.
Yeah,
Even the negative reinforcement might not be the best, but okay, sending him down like to the AHL, which the Penguins did multiple times, he came back and he was okay, but then he would get back in his slumps again. And it's
yeah,
just like it doesn't work because, again, it's the accountability thing, just not taking ownership of what you're doing. He's a good goalie, but when he is off, he's not going to take the blame for it. And not saying it's all his fault. That's for sure. I mean, there's different factors that happen to these goals going on.
Yeah.
But if you don't take accountability, you're not going nowhere. I hope they can get it together because I right now just it's a bad. It looks bad for them, even though they're in a spot because of the situation with McDavid. Right? He's only there for a couple seasons, and then after that, he can kind of do what he wants. I
Hmm.
mean, if he wants to, at that point, he'll be near 30. He's gonna be like, I want to go and win, and I feel like I can't do it anymore here.
Yeah.
And that's gonna suck if that happens because they got the tools around him to do it, but they prioritize the wrong things and they really let
Yeah.
some guys leave that maybe I don't think should have. And
Hmm.
again, who knows? I mean, Jari could pick it up at the right time, or Ingram could pick it up at the right time, and they could be it. But
At this point, as Oiler fan, you just got to hope that
yeah,
something picks up
you just
there.
got to survive. You got to survive every day and just get in. If you
Yeah,
can get in and then find your stride in the playoffs, that's
it's a
all it's going
totally
to
different
be. But
ballgame.
they need to get there first because the
Yeah.
race is going to be quite tight.
And that Pacific Division isn't the strongest division, and there's a lot of teams that, like right now, it's just a couple of points separating you're in or out
Yeah.
of the playoff.
It's funny how it works every season. Like it seems like one conference is better than the other. And even though the Central Division is quite close as I mean, top teams out of the league, you look at the East as a whole and the East playoff teams as a whole are cumulatively better than the West.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of the teams from the divisions, Atlantic or Metro, would be way above the Pacific teams.
Hmm.
But that's what makes it interesting for the Pacific now is how close it is. Because you got 4 or 5 teams bunched up within a few points that it's going
Yeah,
to change a couple times a week,
yeah, because you're
depending
only
on
like
some losses
the Oilers
and
are in
moves.
third, and only a couple of two, maybe what, 4 points out of first place.
Yeah,
So,
it's weird.
and,
It's
and
very tight.
Vegas has kind of fallen off a little bit too over the last couple of weeks since the break.
Yeah.
It's now the trade deadline's over. I think we both disappointed in we didn't see the big ones, but now it's like, what are these teams going to do with the new talent that they have? How is it going to integrate into a team that is on the bubble?
Yeah.
Will it push them into the playoffs? A team that's already a playoff bound, is it something that now becomes
Uh,
they can become a
Can
contender?
can I be honest with you? I don't see this trade deadline changing anything for any of these teams.
No.
I think okay, like Kadri to the Avalanche, they're already a great team. They're going to continue to be a great team and a guy that's played there already. Um, you know, for example, things like that. Okay, like it really won't. I don't think make or break a season depending on the moves that were made because I don't see any of these guys being the reason or big reason that a team has makes it in or wins the cup because a lot of the teams I feel like are going to be where they're at right now, regardless of acquisitions. Uh, of guys and we'll see. I could be wrong, but I mean, it was very underwhelming,
Yeah,
and
it was.
not to the fault of any of the teams. I mean, you're not going to put yourself at risk for nothing. If you
Yeah.
there's no point in you making a deal, you don't make a deal just to make one. You have to have reason behind it, and some of these GMs were smart to really not do much
Mhm.
with the market right now. So it'll be up to free agency in the summertime. But for now, I mean, it's going to be a fun next month and change till the playoffs because again, there's still 20 some odd games left for every team. Uh, the races are really tight. Some teams are heating up, some teams are cooling down a little bit, and it's just going to be a matter of who catches fire at the right time
Mhm.
and who's able to just have that extra bit of juice to make it and just find a way in. Doesn't matter if you're the first seed or eighth seed, get in that spot
Yeah.
and you're done. You're good.
Yeah. I want to say hi to Jamie. She's watching. Andrew also is watching.
Hello,
Carrie and Roland also watching us.
Cousin Andrew.
Cousin Andrew.
Cousin
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you think about? Well, how do you feel about the Connor Murphy and Mangiapane deals and
Because
stuff?
Andrew, like me, is an Oiler fan.
Yeah,
And
you know what? I mean, I'm happy that they needed to get rid of Mangiapane. No point in keeping him
yeah.
around. Murphy's going to be interesting because he has been with Chicago for so long. I'm just interested to see what happens with that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he says because, uh, very. I mean, they had to do something.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting because, like, the Oilers play tonight against Carolina, and those guys are going to be in the lineup, from what I understand. Both Dickinson and
Murphy should. Yeah,
Murphy
absolutely.
are going to be in the lineup tonight. So, see right off the bat, like, I'm glad now that the trade deadline is over and all the talk about it. Now it's like, it's do or die. It's
Now
either
there's now there's nothing left. It's just the
there's
games.
nothing left. It's like the players, 20 games, get in, do so, and you're right. If you get into the playoffs, it's a totally different. Everybody starts at zero, but you got to
Yep.
get into the
You
playoffs.
you slice you
It-
slice it you slice the pie chart into 16 equal slices because every
yeah,
team has just as much of a chance to win as the next guy.
yeah, because right now, you could be the second wild card spot, and still you could go all the way to the Stanley Cup
Oh
final.
yeah,
It's been
easy.
done.
Absolutely.
So it's just interesting. But now you got your players that you're going with. This is the stretch run, 20 games, like Carson said. This is your chance to make a move up,
Make or break. It's it.
make
It's
a
right
break,
here. This is next season.
and
It's next
and
month. It's
because
make or break.
you can't say, oh, we got another secondary trade deadline, or we got this
Mhm.
coming up. No,
It's
it's
over.
like now you just focus on the actual game itself.
This is the
Not
last. This is literally the last hill to climb before the
yeah,
playoffs. This is it. There's nothing else going on. No Olympic break. No nothing. This is it.
no,
It's
this
over.
is it. The 20 game stretch, and for the Oilers starts tonight with a very tough Carolina team coming in.
Yeah.
And then the Oilers go on. The Oilers got a tough road trip coming up. And Sunday they're in Vegas. Well, like I said, Vegas has been
They've kind of
flying
fallen
down
off
there
a
a little
little
bit.
bit. Kind of cold.
But then they go into Colorado, which is a
Oh yeah.
juggernaut. And then right after that, they go into Dallas, another juggernaut. And then they're in St. Louis before they come back home against Nashville and San Jose. So a tough row
Tough
here
road
for the
trip.
Oilers as they are playing they're playing on the road and they're
Hot
playing
teams.
some of the tougher teams, like the top teams in the divisions and so but yeah, it's time. It's put up or shut up
Yep.
time.
This is it. This is it.
Like you can't just rest on your like. As a fan, we can always say, "Oh, they should have done something with goaltending. They should have done something here. They should have done something there." But no, the players, the 22 guys or whatever it is
It's up to them.
it's up to them to go out there and come together as a team and get into the playoffs and do something in the playoffs.
Yep. I
That's
agree wholeheartedly. Good
yeah.
input.
So again, unfortunately, we were hoping to have a really exciting trade deadline show, but it was kind of
Yeah, that's why we
underwhelming.
delayed it till Friday because we were like, the trade deadline
Yeah,
expired at 3. But it is what it
and
is, and it happened, and we're here. Uh, looking at the other side of the things for the Penguins, okay, they really didn't do much at trade deadline. They had one trade. They got Elmer Soderblom from Detroit for a draft pick from that came from San Jose,
mhm,
I believe. So I mean, not much risk there for that, and they kind of need it because Kevin Hayes in the lineup has just been a disaster this season. He's just not keeping up the speed. Just Penguins are losing, and that's not saying it's because of him, but when he's in the lineup, they don't play as well.
mhm,
Obviously, they're still down Sid right now, but he's been skating, so maybe his comeback is a bit quicker than 4 weeks, which would be awesome because
yeah,
they need him back. Obviously, big news that I'm waiting on right now. Gino Malkin,
yep,
dumb play last night against the Sabres that really could turn the tide of the rest of the season because he got pissed off at Rasmus Dahlin for cross-checking, which wasn't clean. I mean, it should have been called, but it wasn't. It is what it is, and he decided to whack him on the face or the neck with his stick, and immediately, obviously, thrown out of the game. So he's having a hearing over the phone, which thank God because that means his max suspension could be only 5 games versus an
mhm,
in person, which is a huge break. What a awful play to make at this
mhm,
time of the season in the situation the Penguins are in right now. They're
yeah,
in the playoff
I
spot. They're
agree.
second in the Metro. Okay, that's fine. But you're down your best player and your team captain. You are the number 2 guy. You are the leader of the team now, and you're supposed to put the team on your back and lead them by example, and you abandoned it because you
Yeah,
got frustrated. And
yeah,
now what? So now you're going to be out for who knows how many games. And if he's out for the 5 games, the games he would be missing are going to be against the Philadelphia Flyers tomorrow, against Boston on Sunday, Hurricanes on Tuesday, Vegas on Thursday, and Utah on Saturday.
mhm,
Those are 5 difficult games. And if you're down him and Sid, that's going to be very hard for them
yeah,
to win those games. And so I imagine he gets probably 3, maybe more, because he's done it before. I wasn't watching the game when it happened, but I saw the play, and that's just not the play you make at that time. You're
No.
frustrated. I get it, but you don't do that in the circumstance that your team's in. You look at the camera panning over to the stands because Sid and Kevin Hayes were sitting up there watching it, and he looked mad. Like he's
Yeah.
looking down there, like he wants to choke him out because it's like, what are you doing? This is this. I mean, I was literally thinking of driving home, like this could be the make or break moment for the season is that play because of what happened.
Yeah.
Because
And
now
so,
they're on a 2-game skid,
yeah.
and the crappy part about it, even though they've lost the last couple of games, the freaking Islanders and Blue Jackets don't stop winning. And
Yeah.
so it's like you're not making up any ground. When the Penguins are winning, those two teams are winning too. So they're not gaining any ground. And thank God the Islanders have lost a couple games in a row, but the Blue Jackets keep winning. And so
Mhm.
they got to keep the Penguins got to keep winning now. They got to keep getting points. And you make it pretty difficult without your two best guys. Regardless, uh, I think it was good they got uh, Soderblom, at least somebody who has some speed, some height, that can make a difference on the bottom six. And then they're going to recall Koivunen now because of that whole thing, because they imagine Gino's out for a little bit. You would hope that Sid's back in the next couple, honestly, week and a half, 2 weeks, because they are going to need him. I mean, they're gonna be clawing their way in, and they need to come together as a team, have a team meeting, whatever you need to do, get them on the same page because they're on a 2-game skid, which isn't that bad, but they just need to stop that and get ahead of the game now
Yeah.
because you can't be losing a lot of games at this point because you're going to lose your spot. But we'll see what happens. I'm very nervous. Obviously, the very hard games and with the circumstance, but we'll see. Uh, Again, last week they did okay. I mean, they won. They were playing Thursday against the Devils last week, and they won that game. They played against Vegas on Sunday and won that. They lost
Mhm.
to the Rangers on Saturday in or in a shootout, which I'm also kind of getting confused by goaltender interference now this season because it's just so wishy washy in that Ranger game. The Penguins had a quick power play goal to start it off, and they got another one a couple minutes later, and it was deemed no goal because of goaltender interference when Shesterkin pushed off of Mantha to get the
Yeah.
puck and he didn't get it. And it's like, okay, but
That's
whatever.
something. That's something that the rules committee and the offseason is going to have to really
But it
take a look
changes the
at.
tide of the game because even though at that time the Penguins were playing really well, they still lost, and they would have had a 2-goal lead at that point in the game early. But again, it is what it is. Um, and then they lost to Boston on Tuesday, which seems to be the theme when they go to TD. They just cannot win there. I mean,
Mhm.
it's they can get 50 shots on net, and they'll be facing a brick wall every time, and it's just kind of what happened. And then the Buffalo game last night was just a mess. I mean,
Yeah.
started off each team got a shorthanded goal right away, which you don't see very much. But then Buffalo got another shorty, and then the Geno incident happened, and
Mhm.
that just tore the game apart. So
Exactly.
now they got to reset the button
Mhm.
for tomorrow. They got a back to back at home. Philadelphia tomorrow, Boston Sunday. You need all four.
Yep.
You need all four
Exactly.
because of that, because of what happened. Get the fans into it. Obviously, it'd mean more beating the Flyers tomorrow to start it off because that's a division rival, regardless of where they're at. They're a division rival and they need the points.
Yeah.
So you put the mess behind you. Rely on whoever's there, like Russ, maybe to lead the team because he's going to be that guy now, with out for whoever knows how long. But I'm excited. I mean, this is a spot I wanted them to be in so badly where they're competing to be in. It would just be absolutely devastating, though, if they don't get in because of something like this. It's just a combination of events with Sid getting hurt in Milan and then now
Yeah.
this. But you never know. I mean, this could also always make them stronger and that they come together more because of it, that they know they need to play as a team and just find a way to win. Honestly, if they're winning these games 2-1 or 1-0, I don't care. Just get the 2 points out of the way and knock it out.
Yeah. And then we're at least get points. At least get some kind
Yeah,
of
if you're
position.
losing, try to get the point. If you're losing, I mean that's better than absolutely nothing. Every
Yeah.
2 games lost in overtime or shootouts like a win. So it's just do
Well,
what you can.
20 games. It's a stretch run. We're
I'm
excited
gonna see
about
if
it.
they come out with his suspension yet. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
5 games,
5 games.
so that's a lot. 5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's out for all those 5 games that I just
So
mentioned.
okay. Well, that's the next man up for the Penguins, like it did when Sid was out. It's next man up now that their number two guy Gino's out for a while. Next man up. Let's see if they can hold a
And
fort
those
here.
games are all on the road too next week. Oh,
Yeah.
that's going to be hard. That's going to be brutal.
Yeah, not a great time to do it, but again, it's
I
done now. You just got to
I
move
just couldn't
on.
believe it when I saw it. I'm like, he's one of those players. He is like that. He has a short fuse. He gets pissed off, and he just doesn't think, and he just does something stupid. At that point of it, you're better off just letting go of your stick and fighting him at that point, and getting the 5-minute major, and that's it. Be done. Not
Yeah.
that where you swing your stick at him, and
Yeah.
not like you swung a stick at his calf or his foot, like it's his head, his neck. I mean, come on, you don't
And
do
then you
that.
know that the NHL are going to take a real serious look at that.
Well, thank God he didn't get more. I mean, that should have been probably more, but
Yeah.
they think he didn't. So I mean, the Penguins, if they can get out of these next 5 games, even just 5 of those points, I think that's a moral victory because of who you're not having right now.
Yeah. All right. Stretch run time. 20 games. We'll be following
Can't believe it.
run to the
It's
playoffs.
gone by so fast this season,
Yeah.
and we're really only 5 months into it too.
Yeah. So we'll see who's in, who's out, and then we get to the playoffs. It's all different ball games. So you can watch the replay of our podcast here later on tonight on Facebook.
Did Andrew answer my question about the magic?
Yet. He hasn't answered
Maybe
it yet.
exited.
But if you and again, so Jamie, Andrew, Carrie, and Roland, thanks for joining us. If you do have questions and you want comments about your team, how they did over the last week or so during the trade deadline, where you think your team is going to be at playoff bound? Are they in? Are they out? Bubble team? Do they have what it takes to go all the way? We'd like to know about it. You can send us a message, each of us, on our Facebook pages. Just search our last name, Besse, and you'll find both of us there. You can also make comments on our YouTube channel. We'd appreciate you if you go over to YouTube to subscribe. And you can watch all of our past shows on our YouTube channel. We'll be back probably next Thursday. We'll be back Thursday nights at 6:30 Central Time, as it's your power play of hockey every week here at the Best Voice Center Ice podcast. Thanks again, Carson. Great insight into the trade deadline. You're keeping me updated as much as you can every day.
I was keeping up.
Yeah, you were keeping up. So again, thanks, Car. And in the meantime, and in between time, everybody, have a great hockey night.
Oh boy.